I'm tired of waiting for institutionalized change, so I thought I could make it happen myself. Welcome! This is the inaugural season of Deinstitutionalize Mental Health, a peer support YouTube series that focuses on accessibility and harm reduction. This season, we will be talking about dialectical behavioral therapy. So, what are we doing? How are we doing this? Why are we doing this? These are all questions that will be answered in this introductory video of what peer support with EBO will look like. Now for the what. In the journal article, Power Dynamics in the Clinical Situation, a Confluence of Perspectives, Malin states, psychotherapy is replete with nuances of power that appear in areas such as relational asymmetry, emotional dependence, and norms of normalcy. They went on to state 4 perspectives on power in psychotherapy: professional power, transferential power, socio-political power, and bureaucratic power. This journal article spoke to me in so many ways, but it mostly affirmed what I had been feeling for so long, that there is an inherent power dynamic in therapy, psychiatry, and treatment. Malin goes over it more eloquently than I could, but could in a high vocabulary be a way of gatekeeping information to a marginalized group? I'm not saying that's what they did, but I will say that's what I'm not planning to do. I want to deinstitutionalize mental health from the basics to advanced topics. I find that there's a lot of gatekeeping around what I can do to take care of myself versus what someone has to teach me to do to take care of myself when it comes to more mental health stuff that is more complex issue. My goal is not to solve the mental health crisis, but to give peer support, harm reduction, and accessible information to the public. This is all sounding great, but who the heck am I? Hi, I'm Ebo Pretty, or Black Child Ascending. I use they, them pronouns, and I have been a mental health patient since I was 16, which is about 8 years. I'm turning 24 in a few days. I have dealt with a spectrum of disorders my whole life, and I am a trauma survivor and currently in recovery for an eating disorder. I had a horrifically tragic and traumatic time at a psych ward recently when all I was trying to do was get basic care. I will be making a whole 3-part docu-series about that. Me just making a talk about my experience wasn't enough. That wasn't enough to solve the issues that I see every day. And even though it's not my job to solve anything, I know that I can educate from my experience. I've had an extensive past with mental health, various facilities, various levels of care, so this is what I know. Eventually I hope to become a drama therapist, but the institutionalized gatekeeping of that degree has kept me away. So right now, this is my chance to help people and myself, to share what I know as a peer and tear down this expert bias by providing psychoeducation to all on a free platform. My goal with Deinstitutionalize Mental Health is to bring skills to the masses without paywalls, without insurance, and without expert biases. My views are harm reduction focused, and with every chance for accessible education, there can always be neglected intersections. For a more graceful space, please like, subscribe, comment to start an online dialogue about these topics. So in this season of Deinstitutionalize Mental Health, we will be breaking down dialectical behavioral therapy. Very skill-based. It gives tangible, workable skills that you can measure and proceed with. For me, DBT has been very helpful, but also at times unattainable. I am not the expert on DBT, but I also know that there's a lot of wisdom in there, and it can be helpful to some, but it could be helpful to more if it was harm reduction based and not just abstinence or absolute based. I've loved DBT for a long time just because they were like, this is the one for you, this is your BPD, you need this. So I got very attached to DBT, and I eventually bought the manual 3 years ago, this baby. Wow. It was a manual made for therapists to explain DBT to patients. It comes with workbooks, it comes with check-in cards. DBT, or Dialectical Behavioral Therapy, is broken into 4 skill training modules. There is mindfulness skills, which focuses on a non-judgmental outlook and being present in the moment. There is interpersonal effectiveness skills, which focuses on finding, building, and ending relationships you want. After that is the emotional regulation skill module, which focuses on identity and coping with your emotions. Lastly, there are distress tolerance skills, which are built on taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, socially, and mentally to help with distress. Now, while DBT has been the most actionable therapy for me, it has also been the most difficult, with certain themes like radical acceptance, which we will talk about, and black and white thinking, cognitive distortions. Literally, it has been an uphill climb. Could I say that I'm a master at this right now? Absolutely not. Will I say I'm ever a master at DBT? Absolutely not. But why? I do know every single skill, but I don't feel like I had enough understanding of it in terms of my life. I very much have like a blank page of like, this is what I need to do, this is what I should do, how to help myself. But we are getting more nuanced and more creative and curious about how we're going to take care of ourselves in the moment. Also, with DBT, I've had a range of therapists and providers talk about it. I've had therapists break it down every week. We had a skill a week and we broke it down the whole session and we practiced. I had others who just gave me a sheet, threw me out in the wild, said practice it this week. I had other clinicians who would give me a diary card, which is just a list of skills, and see which ones you checked off a day. I've also had people tell me this is easy, hurry up and do it, but also no, this is gonna take forever. You need to slow down. So I've had a range of ways to talk about this, and mostly this is, yes, psychoeducational, but also my experience of how I was able to adapt this to my needs and my wants. I'm tired of waiting for institutionalized change, so even if this is just a small blip on the timeline and helps 2 people, I am excited to share my experience, my knowledge, and grow and learn from my community. This season, I'll be posting every other weekend. In each episode, we will check in, open the jar of self-regulation, pick a skill to work on. I will share my past experience with the skill. We'll learn said skill. We'll hear about the skill in popular media. Then there will be peer support of hacks that I've used that have worked for me in the past of how to adequately use this skill in my life. Now, this is my form of advocacy, mental health and media, trying to combine them and see the overlaying sectors, but also how we can use both to help each other. Right here in this chair, I host live eating disorder meal support spaces on Twitch on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, with a special hybrid co-working space on Friday. You can follow us at WeExistSG on Twitch for more updates and schedules. I'll also be highlighting the poignant moments of stream through my YouTube channel if you want highlights. Very small, we are very mighty, and we will be there more consistently, and we'll just keep building on it. For the meal support, it is HAES informed, which is health at every size. It is trauma informed, disabled inclusive, BIPOC safe, neurodivergent friendly, and a queer expansive space open for all. Now for this YouTube channel, we have a lot of content coming up. We have media video essays, mental health opinion pieces, reflections for past self, and our freaking podcast, and more. If you want to support, like, comment, subscribe, and mention this to others. If you are also interested in more bonus content, I'll be launching my Patreon on Friday with tiers and benefits. These benefits include personal updates from me, mental health Q&As live, mental health movie watch parties live, and voting on videos you want to see me make. Support as much as you are able. I'm truly doing this for the joy of the craft and for the hope for the future. So take a deep breath with me. I have chosen this form of service to my community. Please show up, not for me, but for yourself. You are capable, you are believed, and I believe in you. With love, Black Child Ascending.